Welcome to Manga Experts. We are back with another top 10 recommendation list. If you like our videos, please leave a like and subscribe for regular updates of our videos. Without any further ado, let's get started. Number 10. All starts with Yu Byum. Leviathan Lee is diagnosed with an incurable disease, is accidentally transmigrated into Netherworld. With his own efforts, he becomes the strongest man there. When he's traveling through the different nether spaces, he starts to figure out the deepest secrets of the world. So basically, after every 2 months, the main character is transmigrated into another random world where he has to complete tasks assigned by the system. After completing the task, he can return back to the real world. This manhwa is on literal crack. Every single world our main character visits takes place in a different era with a supernatural twist. The art of this manhwa is really good, and the fight scenes are long and satisfying. The main character is also quite ruthless. He also uses his head a lot. Enemies are not just bad guys for the sake of being a villain. Their every action is well thought out, and they also use their brain. The world building is massive. The only downside of this manhwa is the translation. Even in the official web novel website, the translation can be a bit hard to understand sometimes, especially when there are big paragraphs. You can ignore those paragraphs, and believe me, you will not miss anything important. Overall, it's an awesome hidden gem that everyone needs to try at least once. Number 9. The Strongest Unemployed Hero. Shin Min-chol has been summoned to the world called Anhels. He was one who had lived 200 years fighting for survival and destroying the enemies. In the end, the ruler of the continent Zero was killed. And finally, Min-chol returned to Earth, leaving the peace of Anhels behind. He wants to live his long-awaited life as a rich unemployed man, but another conspiracy begins to approach him. After returning to Earth, our main character wants to live a peaceful life, but he gets involved in some mafia trouble. These mafia guys use some kind of drug, which can make them use mana, which intrigues our main character, and he starts investigating it. This manhwa is a mix of some supernatural mafia drama and action. The art is good at the start, but it downgrades a little bit afterward, which is a downer. The side characters are also decent. This manhwa is only recommended for guys who like modern-day drama with some supernatural twist. Number 8. Anti-Monster Force. The Anti-Monster Force is a group of hardened mercenaries contracted by the military to combat monsters. It's not quite where Regan, an ordinary young factory worker, expected to find himself, but a drunken night out with his friends leads him to sign an enlistment form. Before he can blink, he's through boot camp and the newest member of the AMF. Despite being assigned all kinds of grueling and humiliating tasks as the newbie, Regan does his best to fulfill his duty and protect humanity from fearsome monsters. This webtoon is filled with organic comedy. The art is a little bit on the downside, but the story makes up for the lack of art. All characters have a little bit of depth to them. The main character has a good personality, but he seems to be very unlucky and gets caught up in some bizarre situations. Give this a try if you want some wholesome comedy. Number 7. Quan Chu Sha Lu. 10 of billions of people around the world were summoned to the heavens at the same time, and they were given levels and ranks. Now these people have to fight against the monsters in order to level up and compete against other countries to keep their loot. Our main character, Diao Si Qin Fang, has awakened his SS level talent, Endless Extraction, at the beginning of his trial. He can extract everything, including the abilities of dead players and status points of the monsters. This manhwa has a really unique and engaging plot, but there are a few typical Chinese loopholes here and there. The art is pretty decent for a manhwa. The side characters have a little bit of a personality to them. They are at least a bit better than cliché Chinese characters. There are no annoying female characters for now, so that's also a plus. The main character has a very solid plot armor. Only read this if you want a level grinding power fantasy. Number 6. I'm really not targeting the magicians. Lo Jie who accidentally traveled to the Wasteland game world, spent 10 years in Beginner Village because he was too cautious. After killing more than 100,000 magic frogs in 10 years, his spell resistance has finally reached 100%. Now Lu Jie stepped out of the novice village and started his overly cautious adventure. This is more of a parody manhwa. It's filled with decent gags. The overall story is also nice. The world building also has a certain charm to it. Characters are also decent. The art is also nice on the eyes. The only downside of this manhwa is the translation. It can give migraine to newbie readers. But if you have read many shitty cultivation manhwas, then you must have the auto-translation feature built in your brain by now. Number 5. Youngest son of the renowned magic clan. The main character gets reincarnated inside the novel he made in a hurry. To make things worse, he got reincarnated inside the body of a trash side character, which will be executed in a few years. Luckily, he got the same cheat ability Divine Eye, which the main character of the novel has. Now our main character has to make full use of his knowledge about the future and become the best magician so he can avoid his death. At first, this manhwa sounds very cliché, but there is a certain level of depth to its story. The main character has a cheat ability, but he also does some brainstorming to get out of tricky situations. He's calm, collective, and quite badass in some situations. The side characters are also written very well, and they feel like a part of this fantasy world. The world building is also quite immersive and nothing feels out of place. The art is also well polished and nice on the eyes. It also has some top-tier struggle for the patriarch type drama. Number 4. Never Die Extra. The main character is a pro player of a game called Demon King Palace, and there's an extra character called Evan in it. Evan is a cursed character and the most hardest to keep alive until the end. The main character gets reincarnated as that extra Evan in the Demon King Palace game, and now he has to avoid all death flags that Evan is gonna face in the future. He starts recruiting overpowered characters and training them himself so he can survive all murder attempts on him. This manhwa is quite cute and wholesome at the same time. The main character gets reincarnated as a cute kid and he's also quite smart. The art is more on the cuter side of things. The side characters are also written well. There is no action in it for now. The pacing of the plot is also very slow, but it never gets boring. Give this a try if you want a wholesome fantasy drama. Number 3. Archmage Transcending Through Regression. Mikhail Walpurgis is the world's only 9th circle archmage. He fell in battle due to a damned hero and managed to cast one final advanced magic spell. As time rewound, he regressed to 20 years ago. After resurrection, Mikhail decides he needs to take the matters in his own hands if he wants to kill the demon god, or else the idiot chosen hero is again gonna ruin everything. The story of this manhwa is quite good. The pacing of the plot is also quite nice, and there is a lot of good drama in it, which can be a bit boring for some readers. The art is also nice on the eyes, and the fight scenes are also magical and satisfying. Our main character has a decent personality. The side characters are also written well. Give this a try if you want a good resurrection type manhwa with a lot of decent quality fantasy drama. Number 2. My Werewolf System. Humans discovered some old skeletons of extinct beasts. Scientists started doing experiments on humans using the cells of those ancient beasts. A new breed of humans was created using those cells, and Altered came into being. Altered are a mixture of humans and beasts. They also have longer lifespan and less chance of catching diseases. Only the rich and powerful can afford an altered surgery. The main character is a kid struggling to survive in a low-tier city along with his mom and sister. He works part-time for a ruthless gang to support his family. One day, he messes up on a shady mission and receives a werewolf system. Power is everything in this society, so the MC is gonna grind some levels and show those mafia bastards the real power of an altered werewolf. This manhwa is marvelous. The way the characters are written is brilliant. They're all brimming with life, especially the best friend of our main character. He acts so much human-like and uses his brain a lot. It's very rare to see this level of character creation in Chinese manhwas. The world building is also unique. The story is also good. The art is nice on the eyes. Give this a try if you want something really underrated and unique. Number 1. I became the tyrant of a defense game. The main character plays a tower defense and dungeon attack type RPG game called Empire Defense. He saw the ending to the game no one was able to clear, but when he came to his senses, he was inside of the game. To make matters worse, he was in the tutorial stage, which was almost impossible to complete. This manhwa is a real gem for strategy genre lovers. The world building is really smooth, and the execution of the plot is on point. The art is also gorgeous and it shines the most during battles. This manhwa has some large-scale battles, so that's also a plus. The main character is good at using his brain. The side characters are also written well, and they feel like a part of this world. Overall, it's a must-try for all kingdom-building genre fans. Do you agree with our picks? Check out our other videos for more suggestions, and don't forget to give us a like before going. Until then, take care and we will see you in our next video.